We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk, 1180, 1230, KGEO, 1410, KERI, and now in Albuquerque, New Mexico at 1000 KKIM, and also now in the Richmond, Oakland, and San Francisco Bay Area. Our guest in person, not by phone, is the director of the SBDC, Kelly Bearden.
Kelly, how long you been here? 14 months, you said?
I think 16.
16 months?
Started July of 2012.
And you came here from where?
Well, the previous 10 years I did some economic development consulting, so I was self-employed myself for 10 years and did a variety of different projects during those 10 years.
You were here, though, Kelly, right?
I did work in Kern County, but I did work all over California. So before that, I ran the Valley Sierra Small Business Development Center, which included the counties of Stanislaus, Merced, Tuolumne, and Mariposa. So a little bit of small business development center background. It's nice the changes that have happened the 10 years that I was gone with technology, bringing everything forward.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he gets all the big spots, Clay. I mean, Stanislaus and, Mono
What's
County.
Stanislaus? What's the Stanislaus?
Stanislaus, Tuolumne County, the big issue up there is the rim fire, and the rim fire that rolled out of Groveland, California, and really devastated that community from a business standpoint because they're not able to actually have tourists there for 3 weeks during the main part of their season, and then the government shut down on them. And so they had some businesses that were really, really hurting. So, but that's not my problem. My problem is what's going on here in Kern County.
Yeah. Well, tell us about an event that you have going on in a couple weeks.
Well, at the Small Business Development Center, we find that our biggest inquiry, people calling our office for issues or questions or problems, has to do with raising capital to either start or grow a particular business. And it's a major problem ever since the financial meltdown in 2007 of trying to help small businesses get financing. There's a lot of programs out there, but typically what will happen is somebody will go to a bank, and the banks right now aren't the biggest lender of small business financing, at least to our clients.
Try to get a home loan. It's just as bad. Go ahead.
I don't think it is as bad because with a home loan you have, I hate to disagree with the host here, but
I agree with you, Kelly.
With a home loan, you at least have the collateral and the asset that you're actually financing. Oftentimes with small businesses, you're actually borrowing money for working capital. So it's to pay for inventory, pay for employees, pay for things that you're not going to see the money till later.
Well, also small businesses are going down as far as the value of the businesses. You've got a lot of businesses that I do a lot of business insurance, and a lot of my clients are half the size they were last year. So the size of the business has gone down. It makes it a little touchy if you're a lender and you want to lend to somebody knowing that their business may go down next year.
Well, and
the asset will go down.
I think that hopefully we've turned the table on that, and we're on the upside now. A lot of small businesses are doing well. We have a lot of businesses in this community that are industries that are doing extremely well. Your agricultural sector, your energy segment. It even could be that there is so much opportunity for lenders to lend in those areas that they don't really need to lend to small business. And it is harder for small businesses to qualify by the very nature of what's happened with the economy the last 5 years.
Sure. Now, Kelly, one other thing before we actually talk specifically about the event, but do you see there's a lot of capital on the sidelines that's just waiting to see what happens?
There is a lot of money out there. There's a lot of money, and there's a lot of new programs, and a lot of them are being driven by the internet. I was at a conference a few weeks ago, and one of the hedge fund managers, he managed $180 billion in assets, and he was talking about they were going to get involved in crowdfunding. And crowdfunding is something that the SBDC has been involved in. We've done 2 webinars this year and 2 seminars last year on the subject, but it's just getting ready to perhaps be the biggest thing ever when it comes to small business funding. So right now, there's a lot going on in crowdfunding, and they're getting involved in it. And you have somebody that's manages $180 billion, and they say, we're jumping in. It just shows you the opportunity that's out there.
And what is crowdfunding again?
Crowdfunding is it's a way where a crowd comes together and funds a particular project. And the crowd is now on the internet, and it's your social media, it's your friends or your friends of friends in Facebook, and it's people that actually fund an idea. there's a website that probably many people are familiar with, Kickstarter, and they do a lot of the arts stuff, but last year there was actually a project for this Pebble watch, and the Pebble watch was similar to what was being done with the old, I like to say, Dick Tracy watch. Anyway, what happened was they tried to raise $100,000. When it was over, they raised over $10 million of money that they do not have to pay back. Some of it was pre-sales, 70,000 watches, but you do not have to pay it back. And it was people in coming together, about 70,000 people that gave between $1 or maybe $150 to pre-order one of the watches. And over time, it got really big. And that's one thing we're really hoping to do with CSUB students, is to find good clients that have a good idea that could be crowdfunded. Bring a team of students in, a student that might be a finance major, a communications major, somebody that's strong in social media, and work as an entire team to work on crowdfunding projects in our community.
We're having a conversation with the director of the SBDC, Kelly Bearden.
Crowdfunding sounds a lot like a former limited partnership where you go out and get limited partners to invest in a project. Mm-hmm. But this one, you don't have to pay the money back. Is that correct?
Well, there's actually different models for crowdfunding. We talked about the rewards, one with Kickstarter and a number of other. And the platforms are the websites. There are going to be, because there have been laws that have changed that will allow SEC laws from the 1930s that are being rewritten by the SEC right now that will allow Joe Plumber to actually sell shares of stock in his business, and to go through an independent third party to do that before soliciting any type of sale of stock against the law, against securities laws. So that's changing, and that's going to really open up a great opportunity. So that would be, you would be giving up ownership of your business. There are debt crowdfunding sites, a number of sites that we're going to have at our conference that are going to be there, where they're actually lending over the internet and doing the same similar type thing with crowdfunding. So that would be paid back. So it all depends on, there's a lot of different models that are floating out there now, and it just depends on which one is best for you.
So that's part of the access to capital, and you're going to be having a conference coming up on what's the date of that?
It's going to be on Thursday, November 14th. It's a day-long event at the Doubletree Hotel. It's going to feature 9 different breakout sessions where attendees can attend and find things about crowdfunding. They can find out more about internet lenders. They can find microloans. And have actual micro lenders there that are willing to lend in our community. We'll have some banks talking about their programs, the SBA programs, rural development. We even have one breakout session called The Best of Everything Else, which is about a dozen topics of things that you cannot believe are going to be in the same hour. We're going to have everything from the Air Resource Board's program for diesel truck engines right now. If you have a owner-operator of a diesel truck, they have a very specific loan program. And something as far away as, perhaps talking about angel investors and even using self-directed IRAs or 401ks to start your business. Not something we really recommend, but we'll give you that option. You've
got some interesting people coming. Morgan Clayton, CEO and founder of Teltec Securities. He's an individual that I buy products from. He's a security guru here in town. Jim Damian, CEO and owner of Stria, another business that I work with as I use their system for my company. And Tim Terrio Physical Therapy, another individual that I've used when I needed rehab services for my injuries.
I spent 6 months working out in their facility myself. Yep.
But it's interesting. These are 3 local people that have become very successful, and they're going to talk about how they funded their business.
Yeah, that should be very interesting. I think
that's really exciting.
Mm-hmm. I think we've heard them talk before, and they've all started their business, and each of them employ over 100 people now. And it shows you the power of what small business can do as they grow and as they get funded.
Now, to find out more information about the event, people need to contact you where?
Contact us again on our website at csub.edu/SBDC.
And also the phone number?
Is 654-2856.
That's 661-654-2856.
I have a question. What's the difference between a / and a backslash?
One leans one way, one leans the other way.
Thank you.
That's like asking what's the difference between a Republican and a Democrat.
Oh, one definitely leans one way.
Which I'm not getting into right now, but I do want to mention we do have a dynamic keynote speaker for this event, and his name's Dr. Reuven Glick, and he's a vice president of the San Francisco Federal Reserve Bank.
Ooh.
He's an associate of Janet Yellen, who has just been nominated for the chair of the Federal Reserve. He worked with her for 5 or 6 years. He's going to be talking about the financial market meltdown and the recovery, and even offer some local insights on what's going on locally.
What recovery? I'm still wondering.
One question you and I, we've got about a minute left, but one thing you and I talked about off the air, Kelly, when you and I talked last week, the high-speed rail, which we're not a big proponent of, you're thinking it's going to really increase development here in Kern County?
I think potentially it does. I don't sit on either side of the political fence, but I do realize that our small businesses are getting certified to do work, and there's that opportunity. There is about 30% of the total project that is supposed to be allocated towards small businesses. Mm-hmm. And with the project beginning in basically Fresno and ending in Bakersfield for the first 5 years, mm-hmm. it gives our small businesses the position to where they can get a good sizable chunk of that contract.
How do they do that, though? That's the question.
Well, go to keep looking at our website, because we do have an event that's coming up on procurement in December. It's tentatively planned for December the 6th, where small businesses can actually come together and actually find out more about that.
Okay. And again, the phone number for the event this coming up November 14th is 654-2856. Thank you so much for the time, Kelly. We'd love to have you back.
Hey, it's great being here.
We'll be back in a moment on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180.